Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the leaked Tesla van, non-Tesla inventory piling up, Giga Mexico progress, Cybertruck sightings, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla has updated the referral program quite a bit. First, as a referrer, you'll receive 10,000 credits for referring someone to buy a Model 3 or Y. This is 5 times more than you would receive before, but there's a reason why this may have changed. Then you'll receive 20,000 credits for referring someone to buy a Model S or X. On top of this, Tesla has added a new incentive to use a referral code, and it makes it a no-brainer to seek out a referral code when buying a Tesla. They're continuing to offer $1,000 off and 3 months of FSD if you buy a Model S or X with a referral code. But for their most popular Model Y and 3, you'll get a $500 discount plus 3 months of FSD. My link is in the description, but there are plenty of others out there that you can find if you don't have a friend with a Tesla referral code to get. It's absolutely worth seeking out if you plan to buy a Model 3 or Y, since it'll get you a $500 discount. Another big change Tesla made here is that as a referrer, once you hit 5 referrals for the year, you'll stop earning credits. Those who use your code will still receive the benefits. Essentially, the maximum credits you could receive would be 100,000 in a year if you refer 5 Model S or X customers, and Tesla has also changed up what these can be redeemed for through Lootbox. I assume they quickly made this change as many referrers were stacking up credits and able to order many products through Tesla's new Lootbox system. It's a disappointing but understandable change. Next up today, we have a few Tesla pricing changes. Tesla is always changing pricing around, but sometimes it goes unnoticed since it relates to the options. Recently, I reported on how Tesla changed their base color from white to midnight silver metallic. This meant that as a customer looking to buy a white Model 3 or Y, that car immediately became $1,000 more expensive. However, as a customer wanting to buy a midnight silver metallic Model 3 or Y, that car became $1,000 less expensive. That's a price change, increase, or drop that many don't fully notice. Similarly, Tesla is offering that $500 discount with the use of a referral code that I mentioned earlier, but now Tesla also dropped the price of the 7-seater upgrade on the Model Y. When configuring a long-range Model Y, you can upgrade to the 7-seater option, and this used to cost $3,000 extra. Now it costs $2,500. So if you were planning to buy a 7-seater midnight silver metallic Model Y, you'll now save up to $2,000 with all of these changes. These price updates came after their end of quarter push, so it seems like Tesla still may be having success with these incentives. Another thing we're continuing to see is Tesla discounting vehicles in inventory. We especially see this with the Model 3, and most think they're doing this to clear inventory ahead of the Project Highland refresh. Here's a base rear-wheel drive Model 3 that is $4,120 off in inventory. If you qualify for incentives, that means you could easily get this car for a price under $30,000. Especially considering gas and maintenance savings throughout ownership, this particular car is making a lot more sense for many people. Price drops are always exciting to see, so I'm really curious to see what the Project Highland Model 3 will bring. Rumor has it will be priced the same, but I imagine Tesla could raise the price initially, as they may see an influx of demand depending on what features the refresh brings. Next up today, we have a new leak from Tesla and the Boring Company that is raising a lot of questions. For a while now, Elon Musk has talked about Tesla making a van. As recently as Investor Day, Tesla teased a van likely built on the Cybertruck platform, but he has talked about it many times before. Elon also said in 2016 that, in addition to consumer vehicles, there are 2 other types of electric vehicle needed: heavy-duty trucks and high-passenger density urban transport. Both are in the early stages of development at Tesla and should be ready for unveiling next year. At that time, it was expected that the van would be based on the Model X. Back in 2020, however, it was reported that Tesla would be working on 12-passenger vans for the Boring Company. These would operate in boring tunnels, and this news came from a San Bernardino County supervisor who said they were working with Tesla to develop electric vans that can seat up to 12 people and their luggage. Seemingly, it would look something like these renders that have been shared in the past. Right now, Boring operates a tunnel in Las Vegas called the Vegas Loop using Tesla vehicles, and that's where this leak comes from. Ideally, they want to get to what they've shown in renders, and a new leaked video gives us our first glimpse at what could be a Tesla electric van or people mover designed for the Boring Company. Clearly, this is an early stage prototype, but it does share a lot of similarities to what Boring has rendered before, and of course, it has the distinct Tesla logo on the steering wheel. It also has a screen up front. This is a short video that doesn't show much, but it's cool to see nonetheless. It could end up making this boring concept make a lot more sense, and it could be an entire chassis that Tesla is developing, which could enter production for a road-safe vehicle. For now, this looks specifically designed for tunnels with basic chairs inside the prototype, and comparing the shape of the front to renders that we've seen shares a lot of design cues. It also appears to have around 12 seats comfortably. The real question will then be, how much of this is designed by Tesla versus the Boring Company, and how much of this design could we see in future Tesla vehicle projects? We're also unsure of this leak, but it does seem to have enough of what we're expecting to see as to make us think it might be legitimate. Of course, as always though, take it with a grain of salt, but I'm excited to see this regardless. Obviously, this van, especially in this early stage, is not something we're going to see driving down the road, and Tesla will likely take a much different approach when making a road-safe van. But whatever Boring learns, making this prototype with Tesla could help Tesla in the future. Next up today, some new data in the US is showing just how popular Tesla's vehicles are. For a long time, many have assumed that once established automakers like Ford or GM make EVs, Tesla's popularity will dwindle. Well, even as Tesla is scaled up to produce many more cars than other brands in the US, their own cars have the shortest inventory period. According to a new Axios report, unsold electric cars are piling up on dealer lots. This would lead many to assume that EVs just aren't selling right now, but the truth is more involved. EV sales, which account for about 6.5% of the US auto market so far this year, are expected to surpass 1 million units for the first time in 2023, Cox forecasts. On top of this, Tesla's rapid expansion, plus new EVs from other brands, are fueling the interest. 33 new models are arriving this year, and more than 50 new or updated models are coming in 2024, Cox estimates. Right now, though, sales aren't keeping up. The nationwide supply of EVs in stock has grown to 350% at more than 92,000 units. That means that we're in a situation where there is a lot of availability of EVs as soon as you may want them. If production was cut off, that would be about a 92-day supply. What's interesting here is that since Tesla sells direct to consumers, Cox doesn't have Tesla as part of this data, but the contrast is stark. Genesis reportedly has a 350-day supply of the G80. Audi and Hummer have over 100-day inventories, and the EV6, Ioniq 5, and Nissan Ariya are stacking up as well. A big contributor here could be the fact that they don't qualify for a tax credit, while Tesla's Model 3 and Y do. Even the Ford Mustang Mach-E, once seen as the killer to the Model Y, has a 117-day supply in inventory that Ford attributes to increased supply ahead of strong Q3 sales. So where does Tesla compare to these numbers? Most recent data shows them at a 16-day supply, in stark contrast to the numbers we're seeing from these other brands' EVs. Tax credits could be a big factor here, but this is very much confirming one thing. When people want to get an electric car, by and large they want a Tesla. Tesla's inventory of 16 days is a little under 100,000 units, whereas for these other EVs, 92,000 is considered piling up. What's also interesting here is that the article concludes by saying EV prices should reach parity with gasoline vehicles around 2025, according to Bank of America Securities auto analyst John Murphy. Until then, automakers will be left waiting for EV buyers to show up. Well, they are showing up, but they're buying from a brand that doesn't sell through dealers and therefore isn't included in this data. Tesla continues to dominate this industry, and it's amazing to see them prove people wrong at every turn. Next up today, we have a roundup of some of the latest Cybertruck prototype sightings. First, we know that Tesla is actively winter testing the Cybertruck in New Zealand. Now we have footage of Tesla testing the truck on ice and snow. It appears to be sliding around a bit, and some are speculating that they could be specifically testing the rear steering, which may help compensate in these situations. I'd love to see Tesla offer a specific snow mode for the truck, much like Rivian does. After a long day of testing, someone got a close-up of the Cybertruck with equipment on top, headed back for the day. One thing that's very interesting though is that Tesla appears to have multiple Cybertrucks testing in New Zealand snow right now, because this one is entirely unwrapped. Tesla has at least 2 different Cybertrucks winter testing in New Zealand right now, which is a great sign for production coming soon. This is one of the last steps Tesla usually takes in prototype testing before they initiate production. Around the same time that these were spotted in New Zealand, a camo-wrapped Cybertruck was spotted on the road near Tesla's Fremont factory, and it demonstrates how great the suspension is working for this truck in the situation most will use it for. It appears to be cruising down the freeway and absorbing the road very well. Elon Musk also spent some time driving the latest Cybertruck around Austin, so the number of prototypes they're working with keeps stacking up. Next up today, Tesla is hiring drivers all around the country this summer with the goal of capturing high-quality data that will contribute to the improvement of vehicle performance. Tesla's fleet in the hands of customers are constantly testing their FSD and autopilot features, but Tesla does a lot of their own testing as well to improve the system. Tesla has said that data collection is one of the main advantages in autonomous driving for them, but these drivers being hired are Tesla's own internal testing, which they seem to be doing more of recently. These seasonal vehicle operators would only be working for a few months. The job description says, "We are looking for a highly motivated self-starter to join our vehicle data collection team. The vehicle operator role is responsible for capturing high-quality data that will contribute to the improvement of our vehicle's performance." To me, this sounds like the software has gotten to a point that they need more precise data than what the average driver can give them. They need to monitor specific situations to make sure the system knows what to do. They go on to say, "This role requires a high level of flexibility, attention to detail, and ability to work in a fast-paced dynamic environment. Day-night shift positions available." This is an at-will temporary position. The assignment is expected to last 3 months. The only requirement beyond that is a clean driving record, safe driving habits, and a minimum of 4 years of licensed driving experience. This job has been listed in Illinois, Minnesota, Utah, Texas, Colorado, Washington, California, Florida, Georgia, New York, Arizona, and Massachusetts, as well as Ontario and Quebec. The result of these drivers joining the team, of course, should be a more expansive database than they've had already, which will help them make their FSD software truly autonomous, that goal that Elon said might be coming later this year. Next up today, Tesla has officially stopped manufacturing the Model S and X for right-hand drive markets, like Australia and the UK, but buyers can still go through with their purchase. It'll just be a left-hand drive vehicle like they are in the US. For customers that have done this, Tesla is offering a special gift, and as we've come to expect by Tesla, it's a little strange. As you can imagine, if you find yourself driving a left-hand steering wheel vehicle in a right-hand steering country, there are going to be some inconveniences, like when you go through a drive-thru and the pickup window is on the wrong side of the car. Well, Tesla is offering a solution with what they call the Reacher. These new Model S and X owners can use this grabbing stick to reach things out their passenger window, like parking receipts and those aforementioned drive-thru items. It at least seems to be high quality and made of metal. This owner seems to be demonstrating entering a property that requires a key fob. He simply picks up the fob with his handy-dandy reacher and holds it out to the reader. He also shows himself driving on the left side of the road on the left side of the vehicle, which is actually the part of owning this vehicle that will be the most jarring for new owners. Of course, Tesla is just trying to make light of this unfortunate situation. These owners are getting the short end of the stick, pardon the pun, and Tesla knows that. These order holders can always opt out if they decide owning a left-hand vehicle is too inconvenient. Then if they go through with it, they'll get a consolation joke gift. Next up today, a small update for Tesla's Gigafactory Mexico. New comments from the governor of Nuevo Leon suggest that permits for the factory are progressing. Quote, "We do not yet have a date for when, but the good news is that all the permits for the environment, energy, water, everything is already checked, it is advancing. So at the moment, we are going to give them the news that the first stone is being laid." The governor also mentioned that the design for the vehicle that will be produced there is already in its final stages. Quote, "What we have of information is that right now, they are already in the final stage of the design of the new car, a new model which is going to be, as far as we know, the best electric and economic car in the world, and it is going to be a milestone. So now, yes, with the design finished, what we know is that they are already finishing the production lines, the software, and everything that must be ready to start the plant." This likely isn't something that Tesla actually wanted shared, but they did give us a lot of details on this new vehicle and new platform at Investor Day. So it has been assumed that once this factory is ready to go, Tesla will unveil this new vehicle. Previously, we had heard of delays at Giga Mexico, but it seems that this very important stage that held up Giga Berlin a lot is progressing quickly. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. GM has acquired an Israel-based battery software startup to help maintain their EV battery health. The company's early warning battery hazard detection and prevention software aims to detect irregularities in cell performance. Using patented algorithms, they can avoid using additional hardware and sensors and can diagnose an issue weeks earlier than other methods. It has not been revealed how much this deal will cost GM. One of the company's founders said, "We found the right home for our technology to play an integral role in maintaining healthy batteries for exciting products and reach customers globally." The company will be joining GM's Technical Training Center in Israel, where they develop their machine learning and software. Battery production is the bottleneck for all EV makers, so anything GM can do to make their batteries last longer is a sound investment. Over at Fisker, they're in the process of shipping their first Ocean SUVs, but they've teased a future car with a very long range. It's a convertible called the Ronin GT. The full reveal is coming on August 3rd, but will have space for 5 and a range up to 600 miles. That would make it the longest range EV ever shipped, so we'll have to see what it is when it finally comes out. A couple details of the car are that it will feature a structural battery pack similar to the 4680 Model Y, and quote, unique doors for better ingress and egress, and a luxurious, sustainable vegan interior that plots a new, advanced design direction. The last we heard, the Ronin GT is expected to start production in the second half of 2024, and we'll see what the update is there when it's revealed on August 3rd. Over at Stellantis, they've unveiled their latest electric SUV, the Fiat 600e. It will start under $40,000, get a range up to 248 miles on a 54 kilowatt hour battery, charge at speeds up to 100 kilowatts, and will be directly competing with the Volvo EX30. Quote, although the 600e is based on an older model, it features modern upgrades like a sleeker front and back end, LED front lights, and Chrome Signature 600 badge. It will have 360 liters of space in the trunk, ambient lighting, massage seats, wireless charging, and 2 screens. Orders are opening on July 5th, and we'll see how this car does. With all of these EVs, it's a question of how well companies can scale them up profitably. Competition is always welcome in this space. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see the top questions asked about Tesla on Google with answers, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.